You are going to learn today how you can force your opponent to make a mistake with minimal effort. So in this video you will see the tactics and the shots and maybe some small techniques that you need to use in order to win 3 points. I'm going to start right now. Oké. Ah, lekker boelie! And we have sales on justpadel.com.
I like it.
You like it? Good match. So we start with 10. 10 is harder to do and 10 is lower over the net. So how low are you playing over the net? So in Premier Padel at the moment, if they're under pressure and they're defending, they still manage to play quite low over the net. Sometimes you want to play the ball in, gives a lot of pressure, but you tend to play quite high over the net. Or you're defending with slice, especially on low balls, and the ball will be higher over the net. So this will not force your opponent to make a mistake because it's easy for them to accelerate. It actually helps them to play a winner on your shot. So if I'm standing at the net and I get this contact point, it's my point. But if I'm at the net and every single time I need to hit the ball lower than the net, I'm gonna feel very annoyed and it will force me to do something extra with the ball. And this is where a lot of the net players make a mistake because they end up volleying everything lower than the net, and it feels like every single time I played a good shot that you are defending that ball again and again and again and again and again, and it forces me and it challenges my patience. So what you should do is, I don't have it with me, but you can put a rope here and you can do a very good drill where you play everything underneath the rope. This will help you to force yourself to find a way to play the ball lower over the net. So what is the reason that you cannot play the ball lower over the net? Well, if you hit the ball very low and you try to slice the ball, you're slicing the ball upwards and it would be very easy for the net player to score on that shot. So what I would recommend is when you're playing before the glass, to play with some topspin. Another reason is that you're hitting the ball very close to you. So if you hit the ball very close to you, you tend to play the ball upwards. If you move away from the ball, you tend to play lower over the net. So if you want to play lower over the net, try to focus on hitting the ball more away from you. And be careful with hitting the ball very far in front. It will be better to hit the ball more next to you so you can push the ball and to follow through more forwards. So the follow through also is a massive difference, because if you're coming from tennis, you might follow through very high. So you still play with topspin, but that ball was way too high. So what you want with paddle is to have the follow through very long and very low. You don't want to end higher than you begun. So you actually play quite horizontal. Another one is to remain low. So what you don't want to do is this. So you go up when you hit the ball. This will bring the ball up. What you could focus on when you're playing or when you're training is to hit the ball and to stay at the same height. This will help you to keep your follow through more forwards and not upwards, and the ball will be lower over the net. Tip number 9 is a slicey vibra. It is difficult to do, and on the other hand it's easier to do because you are not accelerating the ball so hard. So what you have to be careful with is, if you play the vibra, to always have this full power vibra. Some players are so good in blocking, they can take it before the glass. If you play a slower one and you play with more effect, the ball will grab the wall a lot and it bounces really strange. So on one hand, it is very difficult to make a slicey vibra because you have to hit the ball very thin. This is not easy to do. So you have to hold the racket more loose, more to the backhand grip, lower on the grip, and you need to play the ball in this way instead of like this way. So if you can choose between a bandeja and a vibra, the vibra is always more difficult to defend, because when the ball hits the glass and you play a lot of slice, the ball has a weird bounce, and a lot of the paddle players are not recognizing where the ball is going to end up, and this will be very difficult to defend. But it can also be easier, because if you play the full power vibra, it can be amazing, but it can also be that it's easy to block because they know it's coming and they just block it. If you play more slice, it is more complicated to half volley the vibra. So if you play it slower, it actually becomes less risky. And if you play a slower vibra, the slice does more on the ball. So the rebound of the slice becomes more difficult to defend. Tip number 8, be calm on the court. And this is close to neutral. If you played an amazing shot and you celebrate that like, whoa, look what I did, they will know that this is not something that you regularly do. So if you stay calmer and you don't over celebrate a point, they will think you are a very good player, because they will think, oh, this guy has done the kick smash out of the court before, or this guy did the drop shot before. It will also help you to not make a mistake after you played an amazing shot. This is what I have, is that I tend to over celebrate the point, and I play the best ball of my life, and then I play the worst mistake of my life because I over celebrated the point. On the other hand, when you make a mistake, you don't want to show the mistake. You don't want to say, oh, my backhand is so shit. If you say that, they will know that they have to play to your backhand, and they have a clear structure in how to play against you. So it would be better to be closer to neutral. Sometimes you have to celebrate the point, but you have to think of sometimes you should and sometimes you should not. So stay closer to neutral. Tip number 7 is play on the feet. So watch where your opponent is positioned. If your opponent is positioned very close to the glass, aim on the feet. If your opponent is positioned one step away from the white line, play on the feet. Because it's very complicated to solve the ball from the feet. It also helps you to find out where your opponent is positioned. And this will help you to have a better focus on the other side of the court instead of focusing on yourself. Everybody will struggle with the ball on their feet. So try to play here as much as possible. So if I'm going forwards, play on my feet again. This will help you to win a lot of points. The next tip is make them turn. So if you're playing your shots like your volleys, your vibras, on the backhand, I can block the ball quite easily. And I tend up to play everything before the glass and the fence. If you play on my right foot, I'm forced to turn, and this is, for most paddle players, the most difficult ball to defend. You don't even have to accelerate, but you just need to be sure that you make somebody turn. You will get a lot of free points by making them turn. The next tip is to play very high lobs. So if I play very high to Sasha, this height or even higher, yeah, it's very likely that she's going to make a mistake, because or I get a very easy ball back. So play a very high lob. The ball comes down really fast, so this works really well in outdoor places. If your opponents are really high level, this is making them struggle a lot. The only thing that can happen is if they're super good, they can smash the ball out. So then it doesn't work anymore. Tip number 4 is making the defender moving from left to right. So you don't have to kill the ball, you don't have to accelerate super hard, but you just want to make the opponent move from left to right. So this is why play just on 70% of your power, because if you play a little bit slower, you're able to move your opponent. If you play your volleys on full power, you're going to make more mistakes, and also it will be very complicated to change the direction of the ball. So the slower you play, the easier it is for you to change the direction of the ball. So focus on changing direction and not on extra power. Yeah, it's already complicated. Ja. Schroe door, ladies and gentlemen, schroe door. Called the newspaper. Make no mistakes. So if you end up making a lot of easy errors or unforced errors, or you smash too much, your opponents will know that they don't have to work so hard to win the point. So if you make 0 mistakes or close to 0 or no stupid errors, you will get a lot of free points. If you make no mistakes, you give a lot of pressure to your opponent. So if you make no errors whatsoever, they are thinking that they have to do more to win the point, and this is exactly why your opponents are going to make mistakes. So even though it might be a very difficult shot that you are receiving, try to play the ball over the net. Just play one more ball in. Tip number 2, slow and fast. Many paddle players play in one specific speed. They, for some reason, picked one kind of speed and they keep playing the same speed over and over again with the serve, with the volleys, with the defense. Your opponent is going to know, your opponent is going to play better and better and better because they know what speed the ball is coming from. So they know you're playing fast, I just have to block. They know you're playing very slow, okay, I can swing a little bit harder. And if you mix it up, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast, 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 slow, you're going to win easy points. So if you play a slower serve sometimes, try that out. Slow to the glass instead of fast. They will make a very easy mistake. You will get a free point. Because they think the ball's coming fast, but you're not playing fast. They will not get into a nice rhythm. To mix up the speed, I will give you one tip on how you can do that. So one technical tip is very important in order to play slow and fast, because you want to play it in a very small preparation. So what you want to have is, instead of coming from here, I cannot play the ball slow anymore. So this is why you're not able to play slow. If you are starting from this position, I can still play fast. So if you can make your preparation smaller, I can still play quite fast. It doesn't mean that I can only play slow. You just have to use a little bit strength. And that's fine, because you don't need too much strength. But if you're making a very big backswing, you can never slow down the ball anymore. From a small backswing, you can do slow and fast. And the best part, your opponent is not aware how you are going to play. So if I see I am playing against somebody with this preparation, I know it's going to be fast, I know I have to block the ball. But I don't know anything if somebody has a very small and early preparation. If you're still preparing, so if you have a late preparation, you will always play fast. So this is another reason why you cannot slow down the ball. If you just make a small swing, you freeze the racket, and from there you play the ball slowly or fast, you have maximum control. Yeah, so Sasha did not know now that I was going to accelerate, because my swing was quite small. And then she is more surprised. It's like I give her a present when it's not her birthday. For me, this is by far the number one tip, is when you're defending, to combine slow on the feet and making your opponent to play the víbora/bandeja. Many players tend to lob to win the net, and sometimes that's good, you have to win the point. But a lot of the paddle players on the level that most of the viewers are playing with, if you lob and you force somebody to play the bandeja/víbora on close to the service line, they will struggle. It is easier for them to play off the back wall like a bajada. So what I would recommend to force somebody to make a mistake is give them the ball here, then there, and then again. Make them run. I did this once, I lost the first set, but I was like, listen, if I'm gonna play this tactic, good luck to try to finish 3 sets and come out the match alive. Because this is going to destroy the physical aspect of your body. That's out, on the feet, on the feet again. It just works so well, ladies and gentlemen. And I did not even play the lob yet. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody for watching. Good that you stick to the end of the video. And I have one more favor for you to ask. If you're not subscribed, would be very nice if you could subscribe, because we are very close to 50,000 subscribers. So will mean a lot to us if you subscribe on the YouTube channel, and if you put notifications on, you know when we're going to upload a video. That's nice. So thank you for watching, and I see you next Monday. Hasta luego. Ciao. Adios.